Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I will be reading a multi-character extruder, a Rebel Ramen on Tumblr. So let's get into it. Katsuki Bakugou. He would probably like to keep your relationship a secret due to your line of work. So, Katsuki was not all that surprised when he saw some people starting to ship you with other heroes. After all, it happened to pretty much every other hero that he had known. This was just a thing about fans and heroes, and the way of interacting with them and fantasizing about their heroes, which was a little rude and uncomfortable for most. But most heroes tried not to be as vocal about it. It would be rude to their fans, so they had to take it without objecting much. But then, it started to get a pattern of one person in particular, and that was when Katsuki was absolutely fuming. He began to detest that. At first, he just shrugged it off, like it was no big deal. But now you will have to try and play it off, like that were the case. But the single moment that someone even thinks to bring it up, he was always half tempted to throw them out the window, which was not a good look at a hero. Not really. And to make things even worse, of all people in the world, people had started shipping you with Kirishima, Katsuki's best friend, which was bad, because he knew Kirishima would never make a move on you, especially because that would just not be manly for him, and Kirishima was all about manliness. Probably tries to force Gary to make a statement, saying how you two were not dating or anything, but that only managed to increase the ship tenfold. People now thought he was just trying to hide the relationship, much to Bakugo's dismay. Eventually, Katsuki just loses that and starts shouting at whoever mentioned that. Excuse me, Lion, is it true that you and Red Riot are dating? Go to hell, you damn bastard. Sorry about that. Please excuse my boyfriend. You're what? Let's just say that the poor man ended up being one of the top reporters of Japan. And while that stopped a lot of Katsuki's rage, he always knew that there would be a few people who still shipped you. Please stop him before he hunts them all down. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki did not really understand the concept of shipping at first. He had to explain to him that it was not real, and just what some fans thought. He understood, but it still kind of hurt him to see what people thought you would be better off with someone else. It was not like either of you had made a huge deal about your relationship, though. So, neither of you could really blame anyone. But now, he felt like he had to do something to show you both were in a relationship. Though Todoroki was not exactly sure in what, though. Lucky, the person he kept getting shipped with was Ida, one of his friends, who he had known to show no interest in dating you before. He actually asked him if he'd ever be interested in dating you, just because he's so confused. Eventually, he does more research on her ship and stumbles across the ones involving him. And though there are a few of him and you, most of them are full of him and his best friend. So Todoroki assured you he's not dating Midoriya, despite you having already known about the ship long before you even found out. He only ever occasionally addresses your relationship in interviews, or when he's asked questions though, so it's not really something that bothers him. He's learned that it happens to all of them, whether they like it or not. Midoriya. Oh, well, Midoriya surely knows about shipping. After all, when he was a little kid, he used to engage in fandoms a little bit too much, to the point where he has seen his dark sides. Everything there was to see, Izuku had seen it, and Izuku only feels bad that you had to fall victim to it. He was very sweet, because even though he had known about shipping for way too long, and was even involved in shipping some heroes as a kid. He still didn't want you to fall victim to it, even though he knew it was inevitable. He tried to reassure you that everything would be alright, and that she only loved you, so you wouldn't have to worry. And he told you that you wouldn't have to answer anyone, or do anything you didn't want, just because of some random people ships. Do not mistake Izuku as someone who does not value his fans. He does. He really does. But also, you should be more respectful, especially when it came to you. Because you, as his YN, deserve the best and only the very best. But in all honesty, Izuku was really upset, seeing that people thought you'd be better off with someone else. Especially when it was that damn cursed Monoma of all people. Seriously? Monoma? Of course Mono was never actually interested in you. And neither were you interested in him. But that still did not stop him from messing with the past. Much to your and Izuku's protest though. But it just genuinely baffled him. Because he knew that your relationship with him was pretty well known to the public. And yet people still continue to ship you with some rando. Well, Mono was not exactly a rando. But he still did not interact with you much in public. And the only interactions with you are you just teasing each other as old friends. But it still made Izuku jealous. Because it made him feel like he wasn't being enough for you. That he didn't do enough. And sadly, he knows the limits shippers will go to. So he also knows that there is really no hope to getting it to stop. But he'll still try though. Even though he knows it will never actually stop people from shipping you to. But at the very least, Midoriya Izuku will have made an attempt to keep you and the two of you at peace away from all the shipping discourse, even though you had gotten to a point where you got used to it and didn't really care too much. But seeing him do all that for you, it really was adorable, and it made you love him more. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.